welcome to Wargate Shattered D on the Old School D&D Network, where sci-fi writers playing old school D&D. We have our usual cast of characters, starting with Nick Chaos Actual Cole.
I'm here, and I'm ready to roll dice, and I'm ready to be extremely violent.
We love that. And who are you playing today?
Today I'm playing Air Force pilot Rock Powers. The verdict's out if it could possibly be Prometheus in disguise, hiding inside another video game. But let's see what the audience thinks, if they want more Prometheus, and we'll see if he reappears.
Awesome. That would lead us to, speaking of disappearing and reappearing, J.R. Hanley. Who are you playing today?
Pilot Rick James, the co-pilot for Chaos Actual.
And does that work for you?
Sure. If I can find a character sheet for them, I can't find what I did with it.
Let's see. Hold on a second. It is in the Wargate chat right now.
You rock, sir.
No, not as hard as Rock Powers, or as hard as Wilbur Aloysius Kuchenmeyer, also known as Booger, being played by wow, that I almost ran out of breath on that one. Mike Rothman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. Did I actually hear Nick Cole say he was going to be violent? That colored me as shocked as a dead battery.
And definitely not a dead battery. We have author J.E. Mack joining us today. And who are you playing today, sir?
I am playing Dan Crowley, Staff Sergeant Dan Crowley, who's completely unimpressed by anything magical.
And normally when you're not here, he is totally telling off James Ward's character. So we have a bunch of people jumping into the chat already. We have Captain Kilgosha, Esoteric, Lord Dalius, 67 Indian. We love when you guys come around and what do you call it? Give us a hard time, because hard times are what we live for. Last time, hey, J Mac just jumped in to keep us honest on the.
Weird how that happens.
Are you going to be the point man on Twitter today? Are you going to handle all the craziness?
Who's that?
J Mac. J Mac, are you going to? You're taking over Twitter. Great. You're now the Twitter director. Thanks.
I participate in the craziness.
Okay.
Actually, Captain Kilgosha has volunteered to do some wrangling for us in the chat. So that's going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah, that chat needs to be wrangled.
We need live batteries for that one. So with that note, we talk about what happened last time. When we last left our heroes who are running about the Shattered Sea, you guys got into a huge combat with some goblins that were chasing you on some crazy looking like lizard-like mounts, and mayhem was going on top of a mountain when you got extracted by a Chinook helicopter and two little birds. And just before anybody was about to question whether or not I knew what the range, can we kill that guy?
Did someone already show up to be a dick?
Yeah, somebody already showed up to be a dick. We had what do you call it? We had before somebody ended up questioning my ability to tell how far a little bird could travel. You guys transported through like a big fiery teleport ring over someplace even equally snowy. And JR, you blame Canada?
Yeah.
In the chat? That's fantastic. You guys are in the helicopter. You know, you got the familiar after weeks and weeks and weeks of traveling up the coast of a shattered North America. In the company of a trade caravan, you guys end up inside something familiar, the familiar thumping of a Chinook helicopter. And as that thing starts to descend, you look out of the open ramp as the chief and the gunner kind of move aside. You see kind of like a series of palisades, almost like a wooden fort, like an old Civil War style fort. There's the American flag flying. It's somewhat tattered and old, but it still has its enough of a luster that you could recognize it at a distance.
I am emotionally. Rock Powers is emotionally erect.
Is that different than emotionally moved?
Much different. It's much stronger.
I see.
Much bigger.
Can lift buildings with it.
Is that a pistol in your pocket, or are you happy to see us?
That is one version of a salute.
Is that a pistol in your pocket, or are you proud to be an American?
Right on. So as
Both.
the Knight of Barsoom in the chat. So you guys touch down. Crew chief gives you the the waving, wagging fingers, like get off my plane, get off my plane, get off my plane, kind of deal. As you guys exit down the ramp, you see the two little birds peel off, and they go wherever they go. After a moment, the Chinook lifts off and starts taking off, and you got what looks like two guys in almost like Viking style armor. They have like a heavy breastplate on with some tacked shoulder protection. Like long armored skirt a little bit. They're carrying axes and shields, and the guy in the center is wearing kind of like a wraparound, almost like a robe. He walks up and he says, "All right, which one of you is in charge?"
We all point to Rick James. I mean, excuse me, to Nick Cole.
He says, once the sound from the helicopter dies down, he says, "Sir, name and rank." He goes, and you can put that finger away before you hurt yourself.
Captain, U.S. Air Force, Rock Powers, power to rock.
He says, I'm Dave Higgins, and he extends his hands. Right, gives you a good old shake. He's like, "Welcome to Ranger North, I guess. Follow me."
Who would it be here?
Right. So he says, "How big was your contingent when you started?" And he's talking to you guys as you guys are walking.
I'll break down basically what happened is that we are just the air crew, and some of us are obviously walking wounded right now, and there are the players here. We were carrying a detachment of Rangers, and they went another direction when the aircraft crashed.
So you don't have a 5x5 on them?
We do not. We know vaguely where the forge is, but it's at the bottom of the ocean.
That is
probably broken.
Oh God.
It's Brokeback Forge. I wish I could quit you.
Brokeback Forge. That's so not right.
That's going in book 2.
Yep, that's going in book 2.
Just disclaimer, anybody watching today, any of the things that I'm saying that are bothering you or you're offended by or you've gone fetal over anything, just feel free to show yourself out the door. This is not for you. Just go find something else. That's how everything's going to roll from now on. No more canceling. You just go play somewhere else.
Right on. Nick says he's not relaxed. He said so. Gotcha. So as you guys, as you guys were, talking about, and making jokes and stuff like that, you just see like the two like warrior entourage that they have just keep looking at each other like, did he just say that? You guys get to what looks like a longhouse, one of those old Viking like mead halls, longhouses and stuff like that. You enter immediately. You get that smell of like peat and smoke. You get like the wetness of the wood. There's a huge table down the center. It doesn't look like too many people are in here now. Everybody is in that Viking period dress. You got like big, heavy, thick coats and like wraparound jackets.
I bet it's not a smell dissimilar to like a GP medium that got turned into a cell hall. A whole blend of tent must.
Yes.
And K ration. Yeah. Okay.
Tent must. Oh my God.
Tent must and K ration.
So you guys, you guys skirt the long table, and there's a guy that's writing on a table at the end on kind of like a dais, and he looks up. Very long, thick hair down the middle, but shaved down the sides. It looks like it might even start as a braid somewhere near the crown of his head. There looks like there's a weapons belt on the table and what looks like an old style tankard. He stands up and he walks around the table and comes to you and looks to Higgins and he says, "This the guy?" And he looks at you and he says, "Are you the guy?"
I'm the guy.
He goes, "Mike Cordeiro," and he holds out his hand.
All right. Do we do the Viking shake where we?
Yeah, if you want.
Like this.
He goes, "All right, not what I was expecting, but not unwelcome."
I just figured, maybe things have gone differently here. I thought I'd embrace the fantasy. If we're still doing shakes, I'm cool with that. I graduated from the Air Force Academy. I eat with a fork. It's all good.
You would be the only one here.
Exactly.
He says, "So you have questions. Let's pull up some chairs. You guys hungry?"
We are hungry.
I smell beef jerky.
He goes, "Oh, there's a ton of that around here." Although he goes, "My friend, it's not beef." He sits down at the table. Some people start bringing some stuff over, and he goes, "I'm sure you have questions. First and foremost, let's get it out of the way. Mike Cordeiro." He goes, "I am the current company commander of Bravo Company 375.
Sweet. What's going on here? How far ahead in the future have we gone? Who's the GFC? What do we need to do?"
He says, "Well, here's the deal." And, he reaches back behind him, grabs that book he was writing in, and he writes down a number. And then he turns the book and pushes it to you. And he goes, "That's the rough date." And just the year is enough to make you turtle a little bit.
Oh, okay. I rub my head in hope to try to make the aneurysm go away.
He says, "So as near as we can tell, once the plague really hit, it got weird here for a time. Things and factions and power groups are pretty normalized here now, but things are always in a particular state of flux, as the dog will tell you." He says the European side of this is an absolute mess. And you can tell at this point he's going to say something that has caused him great pains in the past. He says, "Any of you guys play D&D?"
Yes, I played as a kid. It was a lot of fun.
He goes, "That makes a lot of sense for Air Force folks." He says, in the past, he goes, somewhere in the past, Europe was overrun. Orcs, goblins, terrible things like that would make you turn your hair white. He goes, almost the human settlements there are scarce and almost non-existent. He goes, "Have you seen elves yet?"
No, have we? I forget.
No, not yet.
No elves, but I'm keen to. I'd like to see the elves. Get my Sam MG on.
I got word from our friend Samir that you've encountered the dwarves.
Yes.
So some of those factions still exist over in Europe, but most of it's dark, deep and dark, and not good. Here, there are some human settlements, mostly in the Shattered Sea where you guys came from. As torrential as that place is, it's still probably the safest place out here. Where you are now, they typically refer to as the Redlands because of the red clay along the coast, is what's left of North America. We're about as far as you can get without getting stupid dangerous. So we're based on some terrain and geography. He goes, better yet, come on. And he gets back up, encourages you to take any of your meal that you haven't finished. He walks into a back door where there's kind of like a smaller, almost like a banquet hall in behind. And there are two guards that are standing on either side of the table. They nod to him and touch the table in certain areas. Every time they touch the table, a rune appears with that same kind of smoky essence that appeared in those weapons that you got from the dwarves. And when the rune appears, he then touches each rune and turns it, and a door in the back opens, like a part of the wall opens as like almost like a secret door. He leads you through, and that's when your world absolutely changes. For weeks and weeks and weeks, you guys have been campfires, guys and women and men with swords, strange creatures. The world you walk into is almost at once as shocking and as brilliantly familiar as it's almost like seeing a loved one for the first time after a long time away. It's an ops center. There are computers. There are small like sand tables. There are people in actual military uniforms running around. And he brings you over to a sand table. And when I say sand table, it's like one of those giant D&D tables that's like a screen built into a table.
Right.
And it's got a grid reference. And he sits there and he says, all right. He's like, we're here. And he points to a section on the map. He goes, here, and he traces with his finger, and it actually circles on the screen. He's like, here we got the dwarves. Down here is where you entered North America. This is your trade route that you took. And then he traces with his finger. He's like, up north, you have a group of giants that are currently in the midst of a civil war. They don't come this far south. The ice flows that are in between here and there are precarious this time of year.
Okay.
He's like, so now you have two options. He's like, option number one, I can send you out for training. I can get you accustomed to this world. I can get you so that you can make your mark in this world. You can do it on your own. Or I can do sort of the same thing, but you stay with us and we give you busy work because we are trying to stabilize the region. Okay. We are trying to get this to a place to we can start resurrecting the America we always wanted to build.
What path will help that mission the most?
He says, trade, but we get a lot from down south, the Shattered Sea. He says, if that gets disrupted and the Coban pirates seem like they're doing their best to disrupt it, if that gets disrupted, we're all going to be in a lot of trouble.
So that it sounds like that's what we should do. We should train up and go get them.
Couldn't hurt.
No,
definitely couldn't hurt.
Yeah.
And he says, one perk, and he hands you all cups, and then he grabs a pot, and as he pours a cup for himself, you can smell the richest, darkest French roast. Because you guys haven't had like real coffee, and you've had like this like travel coffee, which is passable but horrible.
Nice.
He pours you all a cup, and he says, a gift from some friends overseas.
Nice.
He says currently, and he taps the screen again, and all these little blips appear over North America. He's like, these guys here, he goes, we don't work as a company. He goes, we don't have the support to work as a company. So we send out Ranger reconnaissance teams and special action teams to all across North America so far. We're trying to establish more antennas, long-range antennas, because the satellite network is borked. He's like, so that we can still talk to each other. Here we have the Tutankari. You guys, you might have met them in the Dwarven City. They do a lot of trade with them. Basically, large nomadic herds of minotaurs. Here, and here. He says we have some ranger teams with the dwarves in these two cities. He's like, so we have support out there. He goes, but for every ounce of support, he said, you guys were attacked. What brought you down?
Basically weapons. I like
flying bird things.
Wasn't it harpies?
herpes, whatever. They were eating.
The main thing is we're relying on our modern weapons, and those aren't unlimited. You know, we don't know how to fight here.
So one of the technicians comes up and hands him something. Looks like a tablet. He scrolls through it and he's like, "All right, I got it." He says, "Well, you don't know how to fight here, but you still know how to fight."
Yeah, we do.
I just got word from somebody that we're having a little problem down south, and we have all of our current teams that use modern weapons out. He's like, and our forge was destroyed many years ago. He's like, so here's what I'm thinking. I have a mission that I need done, and I need modern weapons to do it. All of my current modern weapons are allocated. He's like, and we have just engaged the dwarves over here, and he notes Saravolta, the area you guys were in. He says they are able to make some rounds for us, but it's very slow. He's like, and we don't have the weapons nearly enough to put them through. But if we can get your forge up and working, and he's like, but first things first, we got a problem in the south. It would be better for us to have guns on this than me sending rangers with bows and arrows, crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guys be willing?
We're willing. Send us.
He says, all right, I will send a detachment with you to help you out. You obviously have those these dagger guys run by, what's your name, sir? And he hands out your, he takes his
Powers.
No, for J-Max character.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, Dan Crowley.
He's like,
and he's itching for action.
He goes,
He doesn't know why we're waiting around. What small people warring with tall people has to do with him. He's well trained. He's ready to go.
And apparently he also makes jerky.
Well,
so
that was actually Booger's character.
So you guys, he says, he points to an area of the map a few miles away, and he says, look, I can have you deposited here. He says, we're refueling up the little birds right now, and we can send those out pretty quick. So we have somebody who's broken a treaty with us. He used to be part of this company. He's like, when the first company commander died, he was part of the mission to kind of deal with that threat, and has since become a part of the very thing he went to stop. But we had a treaty, and apparently he's now breaking it. We have a castle that he is currently occupying. The castle has some fortification, but not much. But he has a group of loyal followers that are hoping he takes them under his wing. Yeah. So this is going to be a thing. But your weapons, your style of weapons will be more effective than ours.
All right. We'll do it.
Of course they are.
So he gives you like an aerial view of a castle just along the coast, some miles away. There in the water are ice flows. There's just a light snow. You see in the courtyard around here, you see several troops moving around, but as they zoom in, they're not really troops. They look more like giant standing wolves. So but they're holding weapons. They're holding what look like bows, and you can see as the drone feed moves in, you can see what do you call it? You can see like quivers of arrows and stuff like that. So he says, "I'll get you close. You can link up with our guy on the ground, and then we'll get you in there."
All right, let's do it.
All right. So you guys, they give you a few hours to like rest, refit. They restock all your ammunition. All right, so they give you what they have. So you guys are full up on mags. They give you full up med kits, so you're good with that. And a few days rations. They tell you pack light, but don't you don't want to go understaffed, but you want to be just enough to where you can, if something goes wrong and they can't extract you, you can walk the distance back, and it'll be a couple of days till that happens.
Okay. We can do that.
All right. So the next after you guys get your refit, you walk outside again, and there are two little birds waiting. It looks like the gun emplacements have been removed, and they've cleared off the skids so that you guys can ride in the back. Because of so tight, there's only like room for 2 or 3 per side. So, and they, this guy runs up, and it's really weird because you guys sit on the back where the seating goes for you guys to hang off, and the guy clipping you in is wearing all that Viking gear, right? But he's got like a headset, like kind of like this with the thing sticking out, and it looks like he's talking to the pilot. And he clips you, into a harness, blah blah blah, right? And after a few minutes, he backs up and he makes some signs with his hands, and the two birds hover. The tails rise up in the back, and you hear that heavy, angry egg beater sound as they take off. Yeah, exactly. Several hours later, you guys walk into a clearing, and after just kind of like setting up a slight perimeter, one of the bushes starts moving over to you, and you get like a double pump on a red lens.
We signal back with our illuminators.
All right. The improvised ghillie suit drops, and it looks like a woman in woodland gear, she's wearing a hood, comes up, and she's got like tiger striping camouflaged across her face. She kneels down and she says, "Which one is in charge?"
Let's see. What is J.E. Mac's new specialty?
He's a grunt.
I'm just a grunt.
Yeah, he's one of the dagger guys.
Yeah, is he kind of the leader of the daggers today?
Yeah, since the master sergeant has dysentery.
The weight of all those war crimes ate at his soul, and it just destroyed him.
Yeah, because I'm a pilot. Let's put him as the GFC on this one.
Right on.
The Ground Force Commander. You can fuck this up all on your own.
Oh.
No pressure.
All right, so it's my choice what we do with this strange lady in tiger camo.
Yeah, it's important to mentor leadership and to and so let's see what you would do.
So
go ahead, Walt.
Yeah, she as you guys are like discussing back and forth, she's doing the tennis match thing where she's watching the ball jump between you. And she goes, I don't need life-altering decisions just yet. I just need to know who's in charge.
He's going to, for military operations in this, we're going to hand this over to the grunt. And he's going to lead the patrol or raid or whatever the hell we're going to pull here once you tell us what the situation on the ground is. But I am the senior most ranking officer.
She goes, good to know. She's like, did you bring coffee?
Of course. All our thermoses and stuff is full of coffee. Yes. Would you like some, my dear?
She says, I would love some. And she pulls off her hood. And that's when you see that the light from like the moon coming over is reflecting her eyes. It's almost like when you see a dog at night or something in the wood line at night that reflects back the light. And her ears are sticking out from her hairline.
Oh, you're an elf.
She says, is that going to be a problem?
No, I'd like to hear the cut of your salute report.
She says,
let's start with size.
She goes, size. And then she's like at current, and she starts talking about the area of the courtyard.
Okay.
She's like, as of right now, there are 4 men patrolling the courtyard and 4 people patrolling the roof.
Okay.
They are armed with bows. As for activity, they are armed with bows. Location, where I'm showing it to you on the, and she pulls out a map. She goes, time. It's time for coffee.
Of course.
So like,
They have bows.
You want a sharp report? This is how you get a sharp report.
Yep.
But you in the feed that when we came in, these were wolves. Are they dudes or are they wolves? Or are they wolf?
Yeah, because you said there were standing wolves, right?
She goes, oh, 1 second. So she goes back to the area of the bushes that she was in, and she drags what looks like a canvas tarp covered in like leaf and plant matter. When she pulls the tarp back, it looks like a man wearing like wolf pelts.
Oh, okay.
With like bracers, and he's wearing like metal shin guards. There looks like to be like a lacquered wooden cuirass underneath it, but it's shattered, and he's got 4 knives sticking out of his chest.
Sweet. What is JR's specialty? JR, what the hell do you do here?
I'm a pilot. I was your co-pilot. How did you forget? I sat next to you when you wrecked our plane, Captain.
So he crashes.
For
That's
me.
his specialty.
I have an idea. Put this man's clothes on.
All right.
That might be something to work with. Not that I'm in charge here. J.E. Mac, go ahead, take over. I feel that like the mission we were given, we were conducting a raid here. We're gonna wipe this place out.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So
So-
are these? There's 4 wolfmen, but one of them has daggers in him.
So she pulled one out of the bush,
Okay.
like that she had hidden. So she probably killed a roving sentry
Okay.
and then hid the body.
Well, for starters, Crowley's just like, I knew it. There's no standing wolfman. It's just a dude in wolf pelts. So like he's so not. This is like no big deal for him. It's just like these crazy cultists and their wolf pelts. We're gonna go in there, storm the courtyard, just take it. It's not gonna be a big deal.
That's your grunt plan, is just walk in there and just start shooting.
Right.
people?
That is Dan Crowley's grunt plan.
That sounds like he was trained by the
Master
crusty Master Sergeant. Sheer chaos, just run and gun and hope for the best.
Right.
So do we have visibility on these guys?
Hold on real quick. Do you mean through this exit? We're going to just walk in there. We're going to stack here on the sides of the wall. And then we're just going to go in. We're going to
Well, there's reports of snipers on the walls, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Archers. Well, again, Crowley's not really impressed with his bow and arrow stuff. He's like, we got our full tack gear on. We're good. He's not. This is going to be a not great decision on his part, but
I might give an adjustment.
okay.
I might say, let's have some dudes work their way around on the rocks and scale that tower and kill those dudes on the tower and put supporting fire on that tower as we take the courtyard.
Ooh.
You are the commanding officer.
No, this is just I'm developing you as a combat leader. And that might be like when you have an attack, you have a supporting element and you have an assaulting element. So the guys who are going to go through that hole in the wall, those are the assaulters. What we should do is have some support. You could put them outside the castle, but like you seem like a stud. Why don't you climb up that tower, whack those dudes, and then get all like Jack Bauer in the tower and start shooting stuff?
So hold on a second. Yeah.
How about a movie?
Crowley gets really excited at the notion of being all Jack Bauer in the tower, so he thinks it's a very good idea.
So didn't our camo elf, give us some G2 on how many people are actually manning this little fortress?
There's 4 on the roof, 4 in the courtyard, and an unknown hostiles with the HV. And the thing that's weirding you out is like super elvish princess lady on the ground is using your terminology. She's not using like, I have spotted 4 of the enemy resistance on the, she's not very flowery. She's using your language. She's like, there's an HVT in there that needs to get taken out. We don't have the assets for it. We have 4 on the roof, 4 in the courtyard, and an unknown number of hostiles supporting the HVT. She's like, which Are you using 5.56 rounds or 7.62?
Both. We have a 240, and we would love to get up there, and we have
Mark
5.56
18s.
in our MK18s, and then 9mm in our M18s.
Okay.
So let's ask this this elf lady if she was one of the ones that came through the gate and might have relevant experiences, or was she born here?
All right. She looks at you and she goes, right now, does it matter?
If you have skills that we could use, it does.
She says, I was civil affairs when we were contracted to work with the Rangers just in case there were indigenous friendlies that we could help support and rebuild.
She's one of ours.
She says, and then this happened. And she flicks her own ears. She's like, do you know what it's like working around 120 hypercharged alpha males, all dominating for blah, 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 blah. She goes, and then I have to, prove myself every day and blah, blah, blah. Like normally, not a problem. They were very accepting of us and our crew. She goes, however, the second you become an elven, whatever this is, she goes, suddenly, I'm somebody's crazy anime fantasy and I don't like it. So I work on my own.
I'd like to put forth that I've had none of those crazy anime fantasies. I've had other fantasies.
She goes, that I'll accept. At least you're honest.
Rock
She
power.
says, she goes, and just so that you know, and she's like looking, she had heard everybody get introduced, and she goes, you two, and she points to the two pilots. She goes, totally porn names, and she gets up.
Is we can't grow mustaches.
JR, what look, if you look on the sheet that I just sent you,
I've got it open.
You should have a thing that says saving throw.
13.
Make a saving throw versus love.
No. You need to you had all the fantasies.
We have to make sure we have to. JR, are you hungover or sober today?
I'm so.
I did a podcast with JR. What's your podcast that everybody might want to listen to?
It's the Blasters and Blades podcast, where we talk about all things literary, fantasy, and sci-fi.
And you do that with Seska Smalls
and Nick Garber, yeah.
And you guys take a shot every time you feel like taking a shot, which is about right?
Only when the guest's an hour late.
Yeah. And I was
time zones are a thing.
Yeah, but JR runs a really great a podcast. Nick is fun. Seska is really fun. JR is okay, but they just get hammered. So if you want to listen to people get drunk and then start crying in the middle of their podcast, this podcast is for you.
Hey, just want to say thank you to Captain Kilgosha for subscribing to 6 months. Damn, that's great.
Yeah. He's going to be bummed when we cancel this next week.
All right. So you guys.
That was false news. Fake news.
Fake news. You guys, what do you call it?
So what am I making the saving throw for?
Make a saving throw.
For being sexy.
Yep. You got to go 13 or higher.
And I got a 7. So did I trip over my own 2 feet or
turn into an elf?
So for the past few weeks, JR's character, Rick James, has been ill. Everybody thought it was dysentery. But as he's sitting there, he's like waving his hand. And as he is talking to the woman who, your scout, she turns around and gives you this weird look as you're waving your hand and asking like what skills she has that you guys can use. And as you're doing that, the body of the sentry that she brought out to show you rises off the ground a foot.
Whoa.
Interesting. They didn't cover that at OCS.
Wait, has JR changed into this guy's clothes? As
Not
Nick
yet.
wanted? Not yet. Okay.
So are we still doing that, Captain?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put the guy's clothes on.
As he's rising up from the dead,
It makes
he's
it
putting
easy.
his clothes on.
Well,
It's-
his body just floated. He didn't rise from the dead, right?
Yeah, he's just levitated. He's not.
Let's
He's not-
explore that option before you get him naked.
I get. Well, it does make it easier to disrobe him if he's just floating.
I'm going to ask the elf girl, Your Highness, why is this happening?
I can only assume because he was waving his hand. This might be him doing that.
So is he starting to change? Because we've heard the ruin reveals, and so like, is he becoming like a were pervert or something?
She says, judging by the cut of his jib and the slant of his jaw, that could be possible.
Should I drive a stake into his heart right now?
Not his heart. We'll.
Another body part.
She says somebody should slap him, shake him, but you're not like frozen, JR, but you can definitely feel like the end of your finger. It's like when your hand falls asleep and starts the blood starts flowing again. You have like pins and needles in your hand.
Okay. So that was weird.
Why don't you try to control that? What you're doing?
All right, I'm going to try that again. See if I can wiggle my fingers and lift the body,
or lower it.
Well, no. Yeah, well, it's just floating there. Like
Actually,
I said,
okay, it's still floating, so I'm going to see if I can lower it back.
I'm dropping down to the ground just to kind of examine and see. Is it what's underneath? Is it really like nothing there? Yeah.
There is nothing there, and when you put your hand under, all the hair on on your arm kind of stands up on end, almost like there's a charge.
I look at JR and I look at the body and I see if I can, follow the charge. Like, as in, is there something I don't see between the two of them that's making that happen?
No, there's no like energy passing between them. But he still has his hand like extended, but now he's just holding it in place.
Yeah.
And was I successful in lowering it back?
Did you make a saving throw?
All right, make another saving throw.
Yep.
I got an 8. I did not make the saving throw.
Nope, still hovering.
Well, that didn't work. Can I try again?
Not yet. She says, well, this is awkward. She puts her foot on the now naked sentry and kicks really hard, and he just floats off naked and dead into the forest.
Levitating the whole way.
Well, he's only about a foot off the ground, but she just like meh, and he kind of floats deeper into the forest.
Very cool. Well, that's a cool power, JR.
I wonder if she charges extra for that.
You can make dead, naked bodies float.
So put on this dude's clothes,
right? Putting on his armor,
and I wonder if you could walk into the castle and then go up to the battlements, and then you could whack the two guys on the northern end of the map, and then our grunt could crawl up along the rocks, and then
I'm definitely climbing.
Yeah, and then he could come over to the tower and then whack those two dudes at the same time. Like in those like Mission Impossible movies.
So I'm going to turn to
is based on movies I've seen because I'm in the Air Force.
So I'm going to turn to the elf lady over there and ask her for dialogue. What do they speak English or what do they speak? So if somebody addresses me on the journey in.
Are you clicking the dialogue tree? Is that what you're saying? Are you Skyrim? Are you Skyrim again, JR?
No. I just need to know if I need to like grunt or something, or if they speak English. So if the guard says, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?"
Tell him you took an arrow to the knee.
Just nod and point a lot. You'll be fine.
She says, "Do you speak Hitaka?"
I do not know what that is, so no.
Then
but
grunt.
Translator. Yeah, just grunt.
Okay.
So you just walk in there like loop-de-doo, and then you go in that main building, and then you find the way up to the wall, and then you go kill those two northern guys once, because we have comm, right? Do we have any kind of comm?
Yep. Yeah, you guys still have your wrist-mounted cell phone things that are linked to a headset piece. So if they speak it, Samir has loaded all the languages they typically encounter.
Oh, cool.
On this side. So if they speak it, you'll be able to understand it. If you speak back through, it will translate through the unit. But as you guys have found in the past, that just means that the sound will come from, you'll speak a language they don't understand, and the translation will come from your left wrist.
So here's what we'll do. We'll get you two guys in position, and then the rest of us will stack right out here in the trees. And then, because we're on comm, we will come into the front gate. And as we do, then you kill those two guys and then move forward and then kill the guys on the ground while we distract them out here. How's that sound?
One other idea though is he could hold his left hand wherever his comm is to the side of his head, so it seems like he's got some injury or something like that, and he can go ahead and talk, and it'll seem like the voice is coming from where it's supposed to be coming from, and he can direct people to the wrong place.
If that dialogue tree opens.
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Plan. Up.
What weapons did he have on him, or am I using my pistol?
Well, you could conceal your pistol.
Yeah, you got all these pelts, man.
Yeah, I was asking if he had weapons that I was bringing into the party.
If she did, she didn't drag him over.
Okay. All right, let's do this.
All right, let's send JR in. Drunk guy, work your way around on the rocks.
All right, I'm climbing.
Let's see. So, yep.
I'm with Balder on that one.
Well, that was Elvis.
Okay, I'm glad I let you lead.
All right. So you're there. All right. So I got to put this is riveting radio when I'm fiddling with maps.
We're cool.
So you guys
talk with J.E. Mack about his writing career while you fiddle with maps.
Hit it.
J.E. Mack, tell us about your writing career. Bigfoot porn, erotic encounters between monsters and campers in the forest.
Dinosaurs.
That's right. You write about amorous encounters between people and dinosaurs.
Yes, specifically scantily clad females.
Okay, excellent. No, we're just joking. You write kind of cyberpunk, right?
I have a cyberpunk detective series. It's the Cutter Case Files. It's kind of a science fiction-y Dresden Files. It's a buddy cop series with a detective and a 6-year-old cybernetic girl. And then I have a series that's contracted by Aethon, which is it's kind of an anime over-the-top series with mecha in orbit around Earth and Lovecraftian old gods. So space squids and mecha.
Sweet. So it's kind of a cozy, is what you're saying.
Yes. Old ladies would love these.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. It's called Of Lavender and Robots.
That's actually great.
Yeah. If it's not a thing, it will be in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm right next to it.
In the style of Jane Austen.
As narrated, it'll be great. There I was, an old lady with a detective agency and a mech.
And it has to be read in
when
just
these
that
space
voice.
squids started attacking our space station.
I liked the old gods because they were agile.
All right, so we got Booger, Rocky, and Rick James up top.
Yep.
Right. We got our dagger, the rest of our dagger team, along with
Crowley's creeping up the top. Yeah.
And the elf operative said she was going to climb back here.
Okay.
And if anybody was back there, she would take care of them, or if they rolled back, she would take care of them. JR, are you going in the front?
I am. Brazen as can be.
All right. So
the wound to the side of your head.
All right, so we're going to mark JR's faux Wolfman Archer. with a red dot. So that's him. All right. So you walk in the front. You can see that, and I assume you guys are stacking outside.
Yes.
All right. You can see the four in the courtyard. The language that they're using is very guttural, and as it translates, more like you hear more like, what's this guy doing back? This guy right here throws like it looks like he's eating a chicken, like a chicken drumstick. He throws it and it hits your chest plate, and he says, "What are you doing back? You're supposed to be on patrol."
All right. And how close am I if I was going to make a run for the stairwell, distance-wise?
A run for it. So right here, right, if you look at the yellow ring that's pinging on the map,
Right.
there's a ladder up to the roof there, and there's an entrance to the tower here, but also a ladder here.
All right, I'm gonna gesture like my arm is hurt and put it near my my head, as suggested by the great and mighty Booger, and try talking. Was injured. And keep it simple. But my other hand is going to be on my pistol, in my robes.
All right, so he walks up, coming right next to you, and kind of like grips the front of your chest plate. And he ducks down a little bit to look at like the holes and like the cracked part of the plate.
He's gonna die.
Did this?
All right, so since that's not ruse isn't going to work, I have my pistol in my other hand. Shoot him point blank range in the gut.
Jesus. The art of subtlety.
J-Mac, give me if you look on your character sheet, you can see you should have a dexterity stat.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah, it's 13. No
Okay.
modifier though.
Give me a 13 or less for your climbing roll.
Out of a 20.
Yes, sir.
Cheat. I cheating.
I did not roll a natural 1 right now, except I did.
In an ability check, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
because
right.
you want to roll under your ability.
Oh, okay, cool. Perfect. I nailed that one.
But you didn't. Like, actually, you did phenomenally well. That would be, yeah.
So
Okay.
you guys did so well on the climb up
We're there.
that you get onto the roof without them noticing. And there are two archers, and they're all the way at the lip right now, kind of watching the exchange between JR.
We're definitely doing that thing where we creep up behind them and just like grab them and silence them, slit their throats.
All right. So the second JR, like you kind of see him maneuvering something under his cloak, and then
we hear what's going on, and it's like I'm just like, dude, keep your cool, keep your cool, keep your cool, and he's not. I can see he's not. So I'm just signaling to my guys, like, okay, we're doing this, like, you know.
How high off the ground is where the archers are standing? I mean, like, for instance, if I wanted to go ahead and, Booger on the north side of that map, sees two archers up above. How high can I lob a flask of oil up into that area?
Yeah, it's only 2 floors.
Oh, all right.
So we got J-Max guys are going to go for a quick and quiet, slick and silent. Booger is staying true to form and going to light everything on fire. I can definitely see fire runes in his future.
Yeah.
In my defense, we did golf as PT in my Air Force OCS. They didn't train me for this.
Golf as PT. That's fantastic. All right. So
That's something
It's
funny.
legit in the Air Force officer guide.
Do you want to
I've
know
seen it from the 90s.
Do you want to know the funny thing I did today?
what's that?
It was a total asshole move. I'll admit that. So I took Nicole out, but at the beach.
Uh-oh.
Are we
Wrong
there?
button. Yep, you're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
So I took Nicole at this little place down by the beach this morning for breakfast, and there were all these cadets in there, like Army cadets, and I think they were
God.
they were USMA, and they were eating breakfast, and then I catch one kid walking out. He's going to be a future lieutenant, and he sticks his hands in his pockets, and I go, "Get your fucking hands out of your pockets!" And he turns around and looks at me and jerks him out. And oh, it felt so good.
Your inner officer actually twitched a little.
But it was fun. It was fun.
It was character building.
Yeah, it's good for him.
All right, so JR, give me an attack roll on that first dude.
All right, so the pistol is. Give me just a second. Scroll down. 2d6.
Yep, but you got to roll a 20-sided first.
Okay. 20-sided. I got a 19.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yep, hit me with damage.
All right, I got an 8.
He got
Yeah,
8.
you were a killer, man.
All right, so he's just like, "What did this to your?" And it's like the whole courtyard gets illuminated by this quick flash, and he's like, right? They see the back of his armor get blown out.
Lobby oil.
All right, so go ahead, lob some oil.
All right.
Just if you, so you just need to hit the area. If you roll below an 8, I need to know what you get.
13.
All right, yeah, you're fine. All right, so you're lobbing oil up onto here. All right, J-Mac, which one of these 2 archers are you taking specifically?
Me personally,
Yes.
the one further in towards the right one.
So this guy right here.
Yeah.
Deepest sense of ennui.
That's fantastic.
How many guys do I have with me? The rest of the
You got
dagger?
2.
2. So the other 2 guys are going to the left one.
Yep.
Okay.
Dysentery is hell. I mean, it's just hell.
Yeah. All right. So give me an attack roll. You need to basically not roll a 10 or below.
Okay. On a 20,
On a 20-sided, yes, sir.
I got a 17.
Oh yeah, that's good. All right, so you roll up to this guy, and he's just like, they basically grunt at each other to know that something's wrong. You see him just about to pull back an arrow when your hand comes across, ruining his plans for not only the rest of the day, but for whatever he had in mind for JR. He gurgles hard as the knife goes in, and you basically just rough him up really, really bad. He looks to his friend, and right as his friend gets that like, "Oh crap," and like lets go of the arrow so that he's got the arrow and bow in just one hand, goes to reach in for like an axe as 2 of your guys descend on him and just start hacking him to pieces. Right as that happened, the other parapet on the north side where those guys were explode into a big ball of fire, and they start screaming. So now we can roll for initiative.
I just want to say Crowley for all of this is like so unimpressed with this huge spectacle going on. He's just like, things are going as expected.
Damn Air Force officers.
He's a man.
All
Surprised.
right, so give me initiative. Who's rolling for you guys?
I did, and I rolled a 2.
I didn't do much better. I rolled a 3.
Georgia Brown.
The guys up top who are on fire jump off the north side. So you guys are kind of like coming in from the west a little bit, but you came in from the north, but like from the west. They jump on the opposite side of the wall or like down into the forest on the trees. What do you call it? The guys in the courtyard, they start throwing some hate toward JR. Let's see. Oh, that's not good. All right, JR, you take 2 points of damage as one guy, they see the flash, their boss goes down, which leaves 3 of them left. The other three launch arrows, but it's hurried, right? They're just like, oh crap, scary magic, right? They pull back and go. One guy actually pierces your left shoulder with an arrow. You take 2 points, but the arm goes dead.
Does the body finally drop?
The guy that you shot.
The guy that I made float.
Oh, that you're hundreds of yards, hundreds of meters away from that.
That's a good question though, because his arm goes dead and goes down. Does the body fall with it?
Well, which hand did you make the? Not that question was going to get real weird depending on our audience.
Right hand. It was the right hand.
All right. So what do you call it? Yeah, he didn't shoot you in the right. He shot you in the left.
Okay. Good to know.
All right. So, but that arm is dead. You have a huge arrow protruding through it. Missed the armored cuirass and is just sticking out the back. You got blood seeping out of the wound. That brings us to you guys.
Son of a bitch!
Rock
They were
Powers.
supposed to shoot me in the leg.
Rock Powers throws back his cloak and draws his sword and shouts "Lucky number 7" and strides into the courtyard. The first nearest guy he can stick this in.
All right. So they see you and start kind of moving forward, but also kind of trying to push JR toward the wall.
I welcome them. Give them
All right.
Oregon Air Force laugh that shows I've never actually been in a real fight, nor have I ever been punched in the face.
All right. So you got you right here.
Yeah.
Right. And you have a very virile, and they kind of look. Yep, that's the sound that they're making. They kind of look like the guys from if you've ever seen the 13th Warrior.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wearing like these massive animal pelts, making themselves look big, almost like werewolves with huge patches of skin exposed. But obviously, the truth about them, that they're just men. So the first guy is rushing you, and you go to use your sword.
Yeah, and having seen Empire Strikes Back, I'm going to treat it like a lightsaber. Do this and then just cut down. I have never been trained with a sword. This one. And again, I've watched a lot of movies because I'm in the Air Force. That's what we did in country.
So when you raise that blade and say the command word to activate it, once again, the sword weighs about 2.5 pounds, if that, right? It's very well made. But as you say that word, and you can almost feel the heat coming off this thing as those smoky runes start appearing over the blade. The blade starts like wavering, almost as if it's moving at a high rate of speed. But as you get to the apex of that cut, it becomes weightless. So what was these guys are AC 6?
All right.
What was your attack roll?
My attack roll is going to be a 15.
Ooh,
that's a stroke on this dude.
All right. So he comes up and he's got his bow in his hand, but he doesn't look like he's comfortable using it point blank. So he pulls out a dagger, and as you bring that blade up, right, you feel the weightlessness. You feel the energy coming through the blade, and when you hit him, go ahead and give me damage.
What is my damage on this magical meteorite blade that I have had forged?
So it's a
1d8.
It's
wasn't it? It's a
bastard sword. Are you using it one-handed or two?
Two.
So it's 2 to 8.
2
and then
to
just
8.
Tell me what you get.
I got a 6.
All right. So the blade comes down. It shatters through the dagger, splits him in half. There's as the blade strikes the ground, it shatters you guys got kind of like a stony shale courtyard. It shatters the stone, sending the pieces of shale in all directions, almost like a grenade. And so this guy gets eviscerated, not eviscerated, he gets cut in half. This guy takes fragments from the shale going hypersonic and basically gets perforated. leaving this guy right here. That brings us to Booger.
All right. Am I in distance to be able to get it within melee range?
You need to ask this question if what we really know you're going to do is just throw more oil.
Well, I was
Think about that
probably,
first. Say, before I ask a question, is my action just going to be throw oil?
Well, probably not, since I figured you're within distance.
Okay.
So, thus the
like
melee
that
question.
stopped you before.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right. So this guy right here,
yeah.
right, was protected from Nick's attack. This guy right here is down. This guy right here is down in multiple places. This guy looks very like, oh crap, and looks like he's going to rabbit.
Okay. So how about this? I'll pull up instead of melee round. I will go pull up my Mark 18, line up sights, take a shot.
All right, go for it.
And
let me know if you miss.
And when you mean,
well, I don't know. I don't know what miss is, but I got a 14.
Okay. When you mean line of sight, are you aiming for the front sight, or are you putting the front sight between the two rear posts? Like, what is your shooting style?
I believe I do have an ACOG or something equivalent on this, don't I?
Oh my gosh!
You have a small reflex sight.
All right. So
all right.
Well, then you don't even need to aim. Just put the dot where it goes.
And what did you get for damage, sir?
Okay, so I assume that 14 was a hit then.
Yes.
Okay. So damage
should be 2d6.
5.
All right. So he turns to run, right? So he's just, he just saw an entire parapet explode. In his peripheral vision, he saw ghosts out of the darkness like climb a tower and just knife his buddies on the opposite tower, right? And Nick came in with like Excalibur and just like detonated 2 dudes. He's not staying. Right as he turns, you put a round from ear to ear, blowing out whatever intentions he had through whatever hole you made, and he hits the ground and kind of skids to a stop in the shale courtyard.
Well, that makes it easy. All right.
J-Mac, what are you doing? Anything?
Is anyone left? I have range on these guys, so I can still shoot at them.
Nope, nobody's left.
Bummer.
Well, we don't know what our elf girl in the back is doing, so she may have company, but we should probably help her out.
Well, I'm making fun of JR for losing his cool. That is my action for this engagement.
Back, but did you die?
I'm just shaking my head.
You got to say that with a more whiny voice, though, when you ask that question.
Yeah, but did you die? All right. So, do you guys regroup? J-Mac, I
want to stay on. I want to keep my the advantage of the high ground.
Right on. Captain Kogosha says, "I think JR needs to do 1,000 burpees now." As contrition. So the Elvish operative runs up to you, J-Mac, and she's just like, "Roof is clear."
Cool.
Crowley just nods, like he's a man of very, very few words.
All right, so
yeah,
but he knows all the best ones.
Yeah, especially the words that coincide with all those places on the do not go the base's do not go list. So she points out to you, and she highlights. She's got one of those wrist comms herself.
Oh, nice.
She brings up a quick map for you guys and pushes it out through the mini network you guys have. She says that there's an entrance here.
Okay.
Right, and on the outside of the castle, there's an entrance here. Right, so on the north in the north part of the woods.
What is the stairs we're by?
Right here.
Yeah.
That leads to. Oops, my bad. That leads to inside the keep as well.
Because I think the best strategy would be for the guys who just bowled their way through the front to keep going through there, and we come through the keep through the back here.
All right, so you guys, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, so are we worried at all about the guys who leapt off the parapet off to the north and probably are circling back into the castle to warn other people?
Dagger team on your side took care of them.
All right. Excellent.
So I would like to kneel down with my wounded arm and search the bodies to see if we can find useful intelligence. Because while they're just, standing around jaw jacking, I'm going to pretend I know what I'm doing.
Hey, Captain Kugosha, thanks for giving that sub. We really appreciate it, and just want to say thank to Ben Espen for subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate it.
He writes some kick-ass reviews of books. If you want to check out his website. He's thorough. He makes me feel not smart when I read his stuff.
All right. So what were you doing, JR?
I'm searching the guy that came to me was clearly the leader, so I'm searching his body to see if we can find anything useful as I shed this smelly cloak.
Just keep in mind too, you also have an arrow through your left shoulder, and your left arm is not working.
Understood. And in my day, we were told we'd take those arrows to the knee, not the shoulder. So I'm kind of disappointed.
Right on. All right. They're all pretty much wearing the same kit. They have like a leather over hardwood cuirass with like animal furs, trying to make them look more ferocious than they already are. You would picture these guys as probably like the gate security on your bases. Guys like Steve and Trevor.
Okay.
Chad.
Let's go full Clan of the Cave Bear outfits. I got you.
Yep.
The kind of guys who have stack body stickers on their Ford F-150.
Pretty much, right? And they're but in their current apparel, anybody, a casual observer would just think, "Oh my God." So, like I said, you have two entrances there. As far as their equipment, they have the standard equipment. They're carrying knives, short swords and axes, and like bows and arrows.
Any like maps, anything that's actual useful intelligence that maybe they mark their other positions, or is it just equipment?
Do they have any herbs that I can craft into potions with my potion making skill?
They do not have any of the herbs you're probably thinking of.
I can't just stand there and suddenly randomly combine elements and gain powers.
You could try. Almost. Baldur agrees.
I don't think so. All right, Crowley, you the man, take us in.
Well, you guys, we're split right now, right?
Well, you guys are on the tower. So J-Mac, your guys are on the tower, and
the elf is with us.
Right? Let's consolidate on ground floor.
Oh, you want to consolidate?
Yeah, and do some breaching and clearing. Breaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys, what are you doing?
So you want us to join you in the courtyard, is what you're saying?
Yeah, we filled everything, right?
Yeah, I just want to be sneaky and hang out with this elf chick in the back.
One of the most important things in Dungeons and Dragons is never to split the party.
All right, so you guys all hit the ground floor.
That was my Ian McKellen impression. No one.
So I checked the stairwell, and apparently it's locked.
Hold on,
we're not good with locks.
No, you're not good with locks.
So we rappel down the side of the wall and join the rest of the crew.
There's a ladder.
Yeah, there's ladders.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
The ladders are for amateurs. We rappel.
Go ahead, Nick. Ian McKellen.
That was my Ian McKellen impression.
Too little, too late. I apologize. I'm fired. All right, Jay.
I was enjoying it, but I was trying not to let you all hear the dog howl. So I am going to see if I can break off the arrow that's stuck in my arm with my free hand after I holster my pistol. Am I able to affect so I'm not like this whole protruding thing?
Yes.
Okay. And does anybody have field medicine that they could treat this, maybe?
I have field observation, and I'm going to tell you that looks bad, and you're probably going to lose.
This is why you're the captain, sir, and I'm just the lieutenant.
I have amateur doctor medicine, in which I can tell you, oh shit, that looks bad.
And you saw that on a show somewhere.
All right, so go ahead, Jay.
No, I don't have anything. I thought I had a med kit or something, but I don't.
Everybody should be carrying them.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess I do. I have a hygiene kit, not a med kit.
That's not. You're not going to shave them.
I can make his teeth like pearly white.
Yeah, because that'd be a different show.
All
right.
That's After Dark show.
Yeah, that's the After Dark show. All right. So main door, side door. Which way you guys?
We're just going in through the front. Crowley and his dagger team set up to just knock down the front door, kick it in, and going guns blazing.
Gotcha. All right, let me rearrange here. All right, so you guys move up, and you move up to the main entrance. The door is not locked.
What, are these just giant doors, big wooden doors or something? Or what?
Yeah, they're just like big honking wooden doors like you might find in a castle.
Okay. Crowley is not intimidated. He thinks his boot kick will be enough.
All right. So, well, when your lead guy touches the door handle, it looks like it's open.
Okay. We still kick it in.
I was gonna say he's gonna kick it anyway. Yeah.
All right. So you slam your boot into it, and you realize it opens out. And it's like
It's now locked.
It's thick.
So who helps him stand back up when he falls on his ass?
Crowley gets up by himself, checks the doorknob. Apparently it wasn't locked, and opens it slowly.
All right. You guys pour in.
Okay. What do we see in this room? Like, is it what is this room that we?
Do we have any light sources?
Yeah, torches.
All right.
So the what do you call it? As you guys enter, it's a big common room that you enter into. There's stacks of crates off to your left. There's torches and you basically get basically enter into a hallway.
Okay.
So there you go, right there. Right. So you enter right here. Right. And you get a hallway with that branches off onto your right, or you got a door almost directly in front of you. There's a bunch of crates in the room. Looks like a combination of like foodstuffs and like linens and stuff like that.
And so far, we don't hear any other sounds from the rest of the castle that we have raised the alarm, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so good so far, right, guys?
Yeah. I pull out my mace and have it ready in hand.
Do you activate it?
No. The Hebrew hammer is staying dormant for now.
Oh my goodness.
His wife. No.
All right. So do you guys roll into the first corridor?
I'm not crazy about going down this narrow, dark corridor.
So you got a pretty dark corridor right here, right? So
yeah.
Your entrance hall just branches out into like a hallway, right? And right here you have a door in front of you.
I'm more curious about the door than the narrow, darkened corridor. I don't want to be single filing down that thing anytime soon.
All right.
Or a listen.
It's open like a crack,
Okay.
but like not a lot. Just but it's thick, real thick oak, and it's just open a crack. It looks like somebody might have tried to shut it, and the latch didn't catch. You can catch the smell of like cooked chicken, and like a hearth in there. There's flickering firelight from what looks like probably a big fire somewhere, and it sounds like you have maybe 5-6 dudes in there.
Okay, so we hear sign of life behind the door.
Yes.
All right.
Our weapons are suppressed?
Yes, you're rocking suppressed weapons.
Okay.
And JR is still dressed up like them, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So the weapons are bang versus bang.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, so instead of stacking at the door and kicking it in and letting the dart team go all Air Force, what if I just walk in brazen as can be and grunt and point and maybe we get them distracted and they run into our ambush?
I like this plan because I don't.
If they
have
see
to
me come in wounded and I can't talk, maybe they come out to investigate, and then you just like stack bodies.
What was that, Nick?
Is the elf girl with us?
No,
Oh, she abandoned us.
she's going to stay on the roof.
So in other
20
words,
years don't play.
So in other words, JR, your plan is to go peek in, kind of wave frantically, and hightail it out so that they hopefully come out.
I'm gonna walk in, not peek in.
Okay.
I'm Rick James. I'm gonna walk in, and then I'm gonna be dripping blood because I'm dripping blood, and then I'm gonna say, "Hey," but I'm just gonna grunt, and they're gonna think I'm wounded because I'm wounded, and they're gonna follow me because they're stupid.
Let me ask this question: like these wolf guys, they're kind of like hunters or something, or
It looks like they're more like maybe like simple warriors, or raiders, maybe.
Raiders of the Wolf Clan.
On the kit that JR put on, I assume there's some kind of utility belt, tool belt, weapons belt.
They were just wearing a leather belt that they stuck stuff into.
Okay. Were there any vials or any poisons or anything on it, or
No?
no? Because what if you went in there and poisoned their food and then walked out?
If you had poison, that'd be one way to go.
Had poison.
I have flasks of oil.
That's another option, but we might actually want the supplies in there,
Right.
food.
Yeah.
So that's why I suggested just brazening it out. It worked the first time.
Yeah.
JR has made it clear he doesn't mind sacrificing himself. So
Okay.
I like this plan of him going in and waving his arms around, pointing at his wounds, pointing at the outside, and then running out trying to get them to come with him. And then we're there to.
Okay. What if we put a tripwire down as they come out the door, and then we bash them over the head as they come out and trip and fall in a bundle?
As the engineer, I've already set up a tripwire, and I'm pointing JR and saying, "Don't." And yeah.
See, you're on the same wavelength I'm on, because my concern with the tripwire isn't it not working; it's JR tripping over it.
Right.
Yeah. Let's do that. We do that.
I think JR needs to make a saving throw for the tripwire when he comes back out.
I'm sure Aloysius will have shown me where it is. I will be okay.
Oh, I don't doubt any of that.
So you go in, JR?
Yes, I go in.
All right. So they give you a casual glance. It's all their wolf gear is across the room, kind of on a table. So they're just in linen shirts and as the translator starts picking up, you can hear stuff like, "Yeah, but then she tried to get away. I put 2 arrows in her back, and it was easy as pie. And I came away with 30 gold." And everybody starts laughing. "You did not. No, you can't even hit the broadside of a barn." They're going back and forth and bantering and stuff.
So they have linen shirts.
These are wearing linen shirts.
So JR unnecessarily completely undressed the dude outside.
No. It looks like these guys took off their disguise and put shirts on.
Fair enough.
So one of them goes, once again, the guttural language, and it takes a second to translate. He says, "What happened to you?" Says that to JR.
And I'm just going to grunt and point outside and sort of gesture them to follow me and then turn like I'm going to leave.
Roll a saving throw.
All right. I got an 18. Is that good or bad?
So JR is he's like, "What happened to you?" And JR is like, and he pats his shoulder. And when he points to the door, this wave of force appears in front of his hand. There's almost like a screaming sound, almost like a rocket taking off, and this huge, almost like a dart, so like a big giant javelin looking thing, hits the door. It comes through the door, splintering on the other side, and yeah, exactly, and basically does that thing that arrows do when they hit really hard. They vibrate a little bit, and everybody stops talking.
All right, you've shown
That's
your
really good.
cards.
All right. Well, while they're distracted, because they're just staring at me in stupor, I pull my pistol out with my right hand at point blank range, and I just unload. I can't even miss at that range.
You hope. You get one shot.
Narrator voice. But he did miss. That's
All right, JR, roll a what do you call it? D20.
Yep, I got a 17, so that's a hit.
All right, give me damage. 2d6.
I did a mighty 5 with my pistol, so I guess I took his ear off or something.
All right, so you're just like you're like, and then you point, and then this wave of force comes from your hand and crystallizes into a mini javelin that shatters part of the door. They're like, so you just like, you pull, having seen like Max Payne videos or something like that.
Oh,
and,
man, Max Payne.
Right?
Character Max Payne.
Or Mac Bolan, read a Mac Bolan book once. You tag this guy in the stomach. They all like get up and start drawing weapons. That brings us to
How many guys are in there, by the way? I see 3 on my thing.
So there's 4, right? You got one guy here by the hearth.
Yeah.
And you got 3 guys right around here.
Stomach guys are going to die slowly.
All right, so we'll zoom that in a little bit. There we go. Right, and this guy's been shot.
And JR is standing in the doorway.
And JR is standing in the doorway.
Awesome.
Because I'm Rick James.
Nick, what are you doing?
Well, I was standing there with my sword held aloft, waiting to bash the dudes who are going to trip over the tripwire. But I see that my co-pilot has decided to deviate from the plan again and just start shooting.
So what?
There's reasons, right? I'm just going to spend that round wondering why this guy can't follow the plan. That's I have failed versus leadership.
It happens.
They weren't responding, so I took advantage of the situation and seized the initiative.
I'll just go ahead
or gave the initiative away. One of those.
I'll just go ahead and let all other elements know the plan is scrubbed.
All right, Crowley, you were waiting for these guys to lead them outside so you could kill box them. What are you doing?
Well, we see and hear what's going on, and after just muttering to myself, "What the fuck?" I realize now that the only way to give him support is to now go down the dark corridor with my dagger team. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down the creepy dark corridor to try and give him backup in this room. And we have no idea if it's going to work or not.
So you're going down this hallway and try and circle around through the back?
Yeah.
Yes.
So many people could take what you've just said as code for something very weird. Down the dark corridor to give him backup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wink.
Yep.
Wink.
There goes that family-friendly rating. Wilbur Al Kuchenmeyer.
Yeah.
Flask of oil. Flask of oil.
Yeah, I wish. So those guys are pulling out weapons, right? So.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he shot one of their buddies. Like.
Yeah, well, it stands to reason. Okay, so and is JR literally directly in line of fire?
He's standing right in the door.
Great. Yeah. You know what? I'll yell at JR to get his fat ass out of the doorway, and that's it. Yeah, because anything I'm gonna do is gonna be I'm not gonna make melee. I'm not gonna shoot through JR.
I
So-
think you could. I think you could. I
Yeah.
believe in you. Take a shot.
Just yell really loud, get down.
JR, do you step out of the way?
I will step out of the way.
Oh,
I'll wiggle my
awesome.
fingers some more if I can and see what other damage I can do.
Player like that. Don't do that. See the initiative and stay in the way.
All right. So you got line of sight to this guy right here, Michael.
Okay. All right.
Right.
So I will go ahead and take my shot.
All right, go ahead. D20. He's got. They got AC 6.
And since I don't have a THACO table, that means nothing to me. 16 though.
Hold on, I have the magical book right here. What'd you get? 16.
Yes.
16. AC 6. Oh yeah, easily. All right.
All right.
So
8 points.
you extend out. Put a round in. He gets hit. How many did you do?
8.
Oh, you spin him into the wall, and he kind of like does that slow slide down the wall, leaving a death
Smear of
trail,
blood.
paint and red. That brings us to J Mac. You guys are moving down the hallway. Rick James, what are you doing?
So I'm going to shoot one of them with my pistol.
Well, you got this guy right here who's wounded.
I'm going to shoot the wounded
Right.
guy because why not?
All right.
And I don't want to tell you what I rolled.
I want you to tell me what you rolled.
I got a 1.
Yeah.
Roll a d6. Tell me what you got.
4.
Okay. All right. So in a fit of like, holy crap, these guys look scarier standing up. You dump the entire magazine, but the guy kind of like the guy you shot initially, he kicks the table up and you dump the magazine into the table, doing no damage to him. But now you're going to have to reload.
One-handed too. Okay.
One-handed, which is going to be we'll do a saving throw. Nick, did you want to take a moment and talk about Forgotten Ruin?
I do. We launched the first Wargate novel, which is a blend of Dungeons and Dragons and modern U.S. military. And you're actually seeing that played out here today and things like that from that world. And so that went live on Audible and Amazon this week. It's called Forgotten Ruin. There it is right there. It's U.S. Army Rangers versus Orcs. If you ever wondered what it was like to kill orcs with a light machine gun, this novel is for you. Jason Ansbach and I wrote that. It is actually being quite well received. It's ranking very heavily on Amazon. And so if you would do us a favor, if you would mash the like button and go over and pick up Forgotten Ruin on Amazon or Audible. And I'll tell you, Christopher Ryan Grant is the narrator, and it is a solid copy. Thank you, Captain Kilgosha, for posting that link. We would love for you guys to join in the Forgotten Ruin family. The fan page is already lit, memes, if that's your jam. It's a lot of fun, people. Go on over there and have fun. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
And they're already got people making YouTube videos where they like reenact certain battles.
Really? I didn't know that. Really?
Oh, you didn't see it?
No.
I thought I sent it to you. Yeah. This one guy in the fan group did one of those simulation computer programs, like where they army versus army, and it's like this wave of orcs against like almost like a revolution style shooting line.
Yeah.
And you just see tracers going. I'll find it. And be able to put it up.
That's awesome.
All right. So that brings us back to the action. They start hacking at you. Guy by the hearth tries to throw his knife at you, JR. He hits, and the knife embeds into your hip for another 2 damage.
Ouch.
What does that put you down to?
Down 4. So do I add in, is it just from the original sheet for now for HP?
Yep.
All right. So I am down to 7.
All right. That guy's dead. These 2 guys All right, so this guy is up and up. This guy is wounded. The wounded guy kind of is trying to. He's got this table upended. He's going to try and roll it into the doorway. That's what he's going to do. These two guys try to attack JR. One of the guy down here trips and falls back into the stairs. This guy, he's the one who already attacked you. Nope, that's fine. That brings us back around. Nick, what are you doing?
Okay, I am moving into the room, and I'm going to hack at the first person I see. Is my sword still activated, or do I have to activate it?
Yes. As you're moving into the room, you have this table that it looks like he's trying to push up against the door.
Oh, the guy?
Yeah. So this guy right here, he was wounded by JR. JR shot him.
Right.
So, but he's still active, and he's kind of like holding his side and trying to keep his guts in from where he was shot. But he's got the table up on its side, and he's like trying to roll it into the doorway to keep you guys from coming in.
Okay, then I will just do that sort of light Luke Skywalker kendo jab that he does. Like kind of that.
Gotcha.
Because I saw that in a movie, and that's where you learn all your sword play when you're.
Is the sword still active from before?
The sword is still active from before, but I rolled a 7.
Ooh. Let's see.
But maybe he's not defending because he's maybe like got a table.
You bash through the table, turning it to splinters.
Sweet.
Eliminating his plan, but you don't dig deep enough to bash him.
Okay.
Brings us to Booger.
All right. Well,
aren't my guys before?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
You got hallway
Yeah.
guy.
You gonna flood the room?
Yeah, we're coming in the room. We're aiming at these two back guys.
All right. So this guy is right in front of you on his butt. Right.
Is there any way like some of my dagger guys can just drag him out and beat him down while he's not looking?
Give me an attack roll to pass him back.
Okay. On a 20, correct?
Yes, sir.
I got a 12.
He's too clumsy, too big. You're not going to be able to pass him back.
All right. So we fight these guys then.
All right. What are you doing?
I shoot at him with my pistol.
All right.
It says it's a 3d6 at close range.
Let's see. I have the ability to look at this too. Let's see what we get here. Wargate and Mr. Crowley. So 3d6. That's a fragmentation grenade.
Oh, yeah, I probably don't want to use
You don't want to do that in close quarters.
Okay. So then I'm a 2d6 then, right?
Yep, 2d6.
Okay. 2d6. I get total 8.
All right. So he trips back, basically falling right at your feet. And as you're advancing through the hallway, you drop 2 rounds into him.
Okay.
All right. So he's toasted. That brings us to Booger.
And that leaves one guy standing, basically.
Yep, all the way at the other end of the hall.
Can I reach him on melee?
If you run in there.
Okay, so I'm gonna wielding the mace, calling out, activating the Hebrew hammer,
And jumping over the tripwire.
Exactly, jumping over my own tripwire. I rush in, aiming for a head bashing session with our friend on the other side of the room.
All right. So if we once again look at the map, you run by Nick, who has just decimated he just turned the table basically into splinters.
And the 25 experience points for killing a 1-hit dice table are all mine.
It'll be epic and glorious all at the same time. Captain Kogosha, if you're in the chat still, if you can mollywomp that idiot SD rocks.
But
we don't
money
need him.
for followers.
What's that?
Just gave that guy money for followers.
So you see that dude right there near the hearth is still up, and this guy has fallen on the floor. He's still active, but he's got a bullet wound.
All right, so I'm stepping over the wounded guy and heading for the furthest target.
Gotcha. And what do you do to him?
And smash him, starting from the head and aiming further down. And I rolled natural 20.
This is your mace?
Yeah, mace.
Is it, and you said it's active.
It's active.
Rolled a natural 20. Dear Lord. James M. Ward would be very upset right now as I roll on the critical hit table, which is what happened to JR's shoulder, by the way.
Oh, we're rolling on the original?
On one of them.
Oh, nice.
So, all right. So you come in, and just like with Nick's sword, you get those runes that come up that basically evaporate the weight of this weapon, turning it into pretty much an extension of your arm. You come in there like it's the first day on Wrigley Field, and you're batter up. The mace strikes him. You hear the sound of his bones breaking as the mace makes contact, but the force of the weapon carries it through, causing him to blast into the what do you call it, the hearth, sending shards and slivers of burning wood everywhere about the room. This particular table catches fire, and then the remnants of that table catch fire. And you still got this guy right here. Your dagger team moves in, and two guys kind of bracket him and kick his weapons away, and kind of like they don't think he would know what your weapons do. So one of the guys kind of surmised that he puts a couple of knives under the guy's throat. What do you guys do?
I am going to wince in pain as I attempt to reload my empty magazine.
Well,
All right.
I want to question this guy, but I don't know what we're questioning him about.
Let's find out about disposition of forces within the building.
Okay.
All right. You start talking. The translator box on your cell phones on your arm start spitting out translations, and he's bewildered. He's like looking back and forth, like, what magic is this? And he asks, he's like, are you Trago's forces? And he looks like he looked worried before, but he looks scared.
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes.
Yes. He says, we didn't know you were coming. I'm very sorry. I didn't. Look, listen. Don't. Look, we've done everything you.
What is? I guess I'll take over. What were you supposed to do? Tell us everything.
He says, the raids, destabilizing the trade route through here. I mean, it wasn't hard. They're farmers. Sweet. The hard part of
how many people are on the ground floor?
There's a few more scattered about. He goes, dog or two. I mean, but he's been doing everything you said. I mean, we've done everything you've asked. Why?
Where is he at? Where's the commander at?
Dawson?
Yeah, that guy.
Well, over there, and he kind of there's a doorway.
Okay.
Right through here.
All right.
And thank God. I thought you were gonna say he's over there. You shot him.
He says, I mean, we've done everything you've asked.
Sweet. All right. Anything else you have to tell me? This is really important. Your life depends on it.
If you need more stuff, don't go behind me. Don't go to the right.
Why? What's to the right?
Dawson has it trapped.
What kind of
But
trap?
I don't know. He wouldn't let us see.
Sweet. I pull out my suppressed M18. Last chance to tell me everything.
No. Listen, I'm telling you everything. I swear to God, I don't know what the trap is. Listen, I am all about the old gods, and I'm sure they'll save me from this terrible wound in my side. I'll help you do whatever you want. Just don't kill me. And then he points to the room that's right here.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, I know he trapped it, but I don't know how. I swear to the old gods.
Do you know how to disarm it?
I could try, but I don't know what he did. I mean, I know if you open the door, something bad will happen.
Okay, cool. Say hello to the old gods, and I paint his brains all over the floor.
Ooh, nasty.
I would give you a golf clap, sir, but my arm is.
Your arm is toast.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell the dagger team stack on the door where Dawson is, and we're gonna get JR bandaged up.
Okay.
All right.
Can
I'll
we
Excellent.
decide not to let JR lead go in first anywhere and ever again?
He's done great so far. No one damage but him, right, JR?
Absolutely.
Put yourself in for an Archon.
I will. And the Purple Heart.
So Crowley's kind of impressed by the competence of everyone except JR. He's amazed at Booger just cracking the dude with a mace. Like, oh my God, that just like how good these people are is just made up by JR's incompetence.
Wait, so we're gonna skin pack him, or use our medical kit. So is he better? Do we need to roll or
Roll a d6.
I doth roll a 1.
And I rolled a 6.
So you get 4 points back, JR, but the arm still doesn't work.
All right, so I'm whole but missing for functioning arm.
All right.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Don't worry. And if not, you can always learn to wipe with the other.
Well, it's a good thing I'm right-handed, so you know.
Oh my God! All right, so
Let's check that door. What's that door say?
it doesn't say anything. It's just a big, thick oaken door.
Lefties only.
Open. It's not hot. It's not. Do we hear anything through the other side?
Nothing substantial.
Okay.
You hear you hear something moving around, but you can't really tell what it is.
We don't have flashbangs or anything. We don't have fragmentary devices.
Well,
Actually, I do.
You do.
He's got an M320
Okay.
on the bottom of his Mark 18.
Wait.
So he's got a grenade launcher.
Okay.
But I have flares and then a couple frag rounds.
He's got he's got 4 frags for the. So he's got 40 millimeter grenades, the rifle grenades that you use. He's got 4 frags, 4 flares. He's got 2 of the ballistic shotgun rounds.
Okay. Cool. Let's.
Before we do that, I want to test something. I'm going to holster my pistol, and I'm going to wiggle my fingers and try that lifty thing again and see what I can do to the trapped door. See if I can control this. That might give us an advantage.
Well, the trapped door is on the other side. You're not even dealing with it right now.
Okay, well, I just want to try using this lift power or whatever this is. See if I can weaponize this in our favor. So we'll try on one of the dead guys.
All right, you go do that. These guys are getting ready to infiltrate this door right here. Right. So
I think we're cool with JR staying out of our way for a little bit.
he's going to try and mess with the door with levitation. You guys are messing with this door. You don't see any tripwires. Looking under the door, you don't really see any funny like stands or anything like that. It doesn't look like it's trapped.
Is it locked?
It is not locked.
Okay. Why doesn't the dagger team, your lead man, kick it open and step back, and then you step into the doorway and fire a grenade in there?
That sounds like a great idea to me.
Okay. Now you're gonna fire the grenade. Let's see.
Roll one of your fragmentary devices in there. That might be better, right?
Well, he's got rifle grenades.
Yeah, I think they're part of the gun.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I have a choice.
He doesn't have like frags. Okay. So
No.
okay. So yeah. So let's do that. Let's door kick and then you shoot in there with a grenade, and then your team moves in and just starts killing everybody. Because if you shoot a grenade in there, we will get a concussive effect. It'll be like a flashbang, and so you will have the advantage for a moment. I'll stay out here so that my good looks damaged. I think that's best for the team, and I think we can all agree on that, right? Protect the face.
His good looks and his military knowledge he gained through Hollywood and movies, definitely raises the morale of the dagger.
That is awesome. All right, so you're dropping some
high altitude, low opening drops into the water in Scooby gear. I saw Charlie Sheen's Navy SEAL.
Oh no!
Ideas.
All right, so you guys are cranking open that door and shooting.
Yeah. So what am I rolling here?
Roll the d20. If you roll below a 10, let me know what you got.
I got a 15.
Okay, so you look down the hall as you level the rifle. It ends in a door, but you gotta, because of the shape of the room here. I would help if I showed you the shape of the room. So it's kind of angled a little bit, so you can't get like a straight shot. You have to actually come in a little bit so that you can see down the hallway.
Okay, I take a step in and just bank a shot into that corridor.
Okay, it hits right here, and then a couple of things happen. Right, the first thing that happens is when the grenade hits, it goes off, and it's not like in the movies where there's fire and brimstone, and the devil himself comes out, played by De Niro. It's just a lot of noise and a little bit of smoke, followed by a ton of decimation. So that door becomes basically a frag grenade of its own, and splinters and basically cracks into 4 pieces. Some pieces falling into the room, some pieces falling out of the room.
Do I hear anyone get hit or anything, or is it just like
it's too loud? From where you are, you're not going to be able to hear it. Right from here, as that door opens, you hear a lot of you hear and see a lot of from this wall. It looks like it almost looks like gates with the ends of the gate spiked, kind of like in that Indiana Jones movie where they come out from the wall and blah, blah, blah. 3 gates in rapid succession slam against the wall. And if anybody was standing there, they just would have been piked.
So we just set off a whole bunch of traps.
Yes.
Okay.
So from that end of the room, a guy stumbles out. He's got shrapnel and burns down the left side of his body. He's got a large piece of the door embedded into his upper chest.
Do I need to roll for damage on this guy?
I already rolled for your grenade.
Oh, okay.
Right. But the what do you call it? He is really badly messed up. And he gets this look on his face as he sees you, and he yells out in American English, "Ah, shit, Rangers!"
That's right. You saw a movie.
So do I call? Do I remember the guy's name that the guy that Nick smoked? What was the name of the guy he had implied set the trap on the other side of the room? I'm assuming that's this guy. So I call out his name and see if I get any recognition as a response.
His name is Dawson.
Dawson.
All right, so you yell that out.
Yeah. Hey,
He
Dawson.
He goes, "Did Cordeiro send you?" And he rips out the big shard. What is your intelligence, J-Mac? What is your character's intelligence?
Oh, I don't think I'm that bright.
You.
2.
It's a 10. It's a 10.
10.
I got a 15.
Lobby. Look at you.
Give me a D20 roll. Try and get under a 10 if you can.
Okay.
Not that you have a choice because it's random.
It's because you're
Well, I got a 6. Is under 10 good or bad?
Oh yeah, no, under 10 is what you wanted. Okay. So you see, you see as he rips out the steak, and he looks more aggravated than hurt. He was stumbling initially, but he seems to be catching his bearing. You see some of the burns starting to go away.
All right. So is it Booger's turn, or am I still?
Powers whispers to you, "Use the shotgun."
Well, you're kind of like in the lead right now, right?
Well, Powers is my superior, and he's whispering to shoot this guy. I have. I'm not sure I should be shooting this guy. I want the dagger team to secure him.
Oh, so you're gonna push a couple of the dagger teams up?
Yeah. I want them to come in and secure this guy.
You would be basically what you're saying is you're gonna try to take him prisoner.
Yes.
And you're gonna maintain your sight picture on him, and you're gonna start issuing commands. Put your hands up, get on your knees.
Right.
And let's see if he obeys that, or just sends a fireball at you and burns your hair off.
So you got a Tasmanian devil in front of you, and you're going to say, all right, cooperate.
Hey, Powers is still like, use the shotgun.
Do you still send the dagger team forward?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
He's speaking English. I want to know what's up.
See, that's where you're wrong.
Hey.
You don't want to know stuff in life.
All right. So you guys, your dagger team moves forward.
Okay.
What's that?
And they die.
They're like, get on the ground, do it now. They're pointing. The guy seems to understand exactly what's going on. So he raises his hands, right? Yeah. He's like, he gets his right hand behind his head, and he's still seeping blood from the giant piece of wood he pulled out. But he's just like, little hard, boys, little hard. He starts to get down to his knees.
Well, like Rock Powers, Dan Crawley has also seen Die Hard. So this move is very
suspicious.
He's very cautious about this move.
Yeah, Rock Powers shouts, "He's doing the Bruce Willis."
And then Crawley goes, "You mean the Hans Gruber, right?" No, the Bruce.
Oh yeah, no, that one.
Oh my God! Please take 100 XP both for awesome 80s movie references. So yeah, he hears you guys talking. He like rolls his eyes, but he keeps his hands out and he starts getting to his knees. First dagger team member comes up, and there's a quick thwip of motion from the guy that you're trying to roll up, Dawson. And then you can see from your position, J-Mac, you can see he bites your dagger team guy's leg.
That was unexpected.
Right? So he grabs onto the leg. The guy is like punching him in the back of the head. And as he's doing that, your other guy is putting round after round into him. And as he stands up and hoists the guy in his teeth off the ground,
we call out for Larry Correa.
Yep. Booger is yelling out, "Oh my God, I read this book. He's an accountant." And then the guy is like ripping out of his own skin, and underneath is some strange hybrid of wolf and man.
Whoa!
I think I probably should have shot him.
Rick James.
I think I should have shot him. Now we roll for initiative.
Just saying, if Rick James had been in charge, this wouldn't have happened.
I'm Rick James, damn it.
Who's rolling?
I shall.
Hit
I
me.
rolled a 7.
A 7.
I rolled a 5.
That you guys go ahead. So starting out with Nick Prometheus Cole.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of behind all the action, right?
You, sir, are right there.
And the dude is changing into a werewolf, and there's 2 Dagger team members in front of me and Crowley, right?
Correct.
I don't see that there's much I can do. I guess I would ask the lieutenant not to mess with the door and to stay on mission so that we don't have to deal with that too at the same time.
That brings us to Booger.
I'm assuming I cannot get within melee range from where I'm at in this round. Or
you can. You're going to have to fight through the. It'll give you a negative.
okay.
Because you're going to have to kind of wiggle around the dagger guys.
Okay.
Well, I get the impression the Dagger guys are all on top of Dawson, so they're not like.
There's
in
only
the
2
way
of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
But there's only 2 in the passage, right?
And Dawson's tossing them around like hotcakes.
Yeah, so they're not really obscuring. It's just me. It's just Crowley in the way, is what I'm saying.
All right, so I've got my Hebrew hammer active and ready. I rush to Dawson with an intent to do some holy damage.
All right. So you can reach all the way to here.
All right.
And attack,
Yep.
but you're going to be at a -4.
A 19. I don't know if that hits though.
You're level 3, so you do hit barely.
Ooh.
Give me damage, so that's 2d4 for the mace. And yours is still active, right?
Yes. I got a 6.
4. You slam into his arm. It breaks his arm, hits him hard enough into the wall to break the flagstones of the wall. He looks very confused. If a wolf could throw an expression, that's what you would get. His eyes kind of like, what the? The arm breaks in multiple places. It's a compound fracture, so it comes straight out of and like basically de-sleeves the bone. You can almost hear ribs breaking as he spits out this Dagger team member that he was slapping from wall to wall. That brings us to J-Mac.
Is JR in this, or is he still screwing with the door?
He's gonna be last because he said he was messing with the door.
Okay. I want to now take the advice of the captain and finish Dawson.
What are you doing?
I am
Shotgun.
him. Yes.
All right. So where you are in the hallway, you would have to move through everybody to get to here.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're going to pepper all your guys in the way.
Well, aren't these 2 Dagger guys kind of done?
This guy's on the ground.
Booger's up there too.
Yep. This guy's on the ground, kind of like, oh my God. And he's clutching his leg. And this guy is now like reloading because he.
Okay, I'm not going to use the shotgun then. I'm just going to use the
rifle.
Yeah, the rifle.
All right, hit me. What do you got?
Hang on a sec. Wow, 11, 2d6, 11.
Oh, you got to roll the hit.
Yeah, you got to roll the hit.
D20.
Yeah.
Nice try. Go right to the damage.
15.
Pro level player.
Yep. The damage, man.
All right, and what did you get? 11.
11.
All right, you dump 2 rounds into his upper chest, right where pretty much where the door had pierced him. That wound is almost closed, but you dump 2 more into his body.
So he's healing?
He's healing, yes.
It's a werewolf thing.
It probably doesn't believe in werewolves, man.
You should tell Dawson that. Rick James, what are you doing to the door?
Was I able to control the magic just to see if I can get a handle on this since I'm one-armed and can't shoot?
We got other things going on over here, you know.
So while you hear tons of gunfire and
so that's what I was asking. I thought I was doing that as they were even stacking, so it would have happened before they had kicked in.
oh well, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, but how long were you spending on it? Because you wave your hand at the door, and then you do the thing that people do when they're trying to use the force when they're not sure they have the force. You stare at the door a little bit.
Well, if it didn't work the first time, I would have reacted to contact and
all right.
And stacked bodies like clearly the daggers aren't doing, because when I went in there, I'm just saying bodies were dead. Just saying.
So yeah, nothing that you're doing seems to be levitating the door.
All right. Are there any weapons that can be thrown, like a dagger or something close by? Because I can't load one-handed, so I'm just looking for something I could throw.
There's one in your hip.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I'm going to go and see if I can get within range.
Hey, while you're back there, can you check the tables for silverware?
Silver.
Yeah. Forks or knives or.
We would have already noticed that. I'm good. I'll stack bodies for you there, kid.
All right. So you throw the what do you call it? You try and throw the knife past Booger, the two Dagger members, and Crowley.
Yeah.
Only if I can get a clear line of sight, because I'm not a moron. I learned this at OCS.
You can get up to here right now.
Right.
But it won't. You're going to have to throw over somebody's head.
All right. I'm going to try this.
If you're good with that.
Yeah, the Air Force whispers, "Do it."
The captain says, "Do it" by the power of the Force.
All right, he's got an AC of 5.
Someone's gonna wind up with the dagger in their back.
So you got to get.
I got a 17. I don't know if that hits.
No, that's fine. Yep.
The natural one was going to be comedy.
Oh my god, it would have been awesome. He stabs himself. He doesn't let go of the dagger in time. So he flips a knife past you guys. Booger, you're just like, you just see this thing, kind of like right by your face, right? And it hits him in the chest, kind of where very close to where Crowley shot him. And sticks into his chest.
That makes it hurt worse.
That brings us to his turn. He kicks the injured dagger member into Booger and the second guy, and he's going to try and run out this door. He opens the door and starts to move, and the door gets embedded with 2 arrows.
Elf girl. Maybe.
My magic.
He
Clearly.
backs up, slams the door, and then decides to pick up the injured dagger team member and holds him in front of him like a hug. It brings us back to rock powers.
Rock powers, and you. Boy, that corridor is really full, isn't it?
A lot.
It is very full.
Very full. I'm going to run out the front door and run to this door.
Awesome. He's going to be even with that door as you do that.
Yeah.
So you can open the door right into him.
Sweet. I'm going to do that and hack him.
All right. So he picks up the dude, right? Starts using him as a shield and starts to move forward. As he just about to pushes into Booger, you open the door. You get up there, and obviously there's the 2 arrows that are sticking out into it. The door opens, and you're you're both staring at each other. He hears the door open and turns. You open the door and you're like, "Ha-ha! What do you do?"
I'm going to run him through the ribs. I'm just going to push the blade right into the ribs. I'm not actually going to hack. I'm going to push.
Yours is still active, right?
Yeah. 3.
Oh,
Pretty sure that hits. Should I just go ahead and roll damage now?
No, not yet.
And a 4.
All right. So you're just like, yeah, you are so. And right as you're just kind of like, you get that initial give of the blade biting in. He has turned, and now you're impaling the dagger team member.
Damn!
He screams
We
out
got
like
3 more of them.
Yeah, well, 5 total, but now it's going to be 4. He screams like, I'm sorry, Nick, what was that?
It wasn't the Master Sergeant, right?
No, not yet. He screams in a terrible fashion. You just hope doesn't haunt you for the rest of your life. And he's got that look on his face like, "Hey, tu Brute."
He's all, "What the fuck?" And I'm all, "Sir, sir."
Your language.
Rank while I run you through.
That goes Wilbur.
All right. So I've got a clear line of sight with no impeding dagger team members.
Impediments. When you say impeding, always say impeding impediments.
Okay, impeding impediments. No impeding impediments. I will take my my mace, the Hebrew hammer, and try to finish this guy off. See if I can do that. Take a shot to the back of his skull.
You're muted, Boomer.
I can't hear. Yep.
Do it. AC 5.
In the face.
And I got a 17 on that one.
Ooh, damage.
That's a good question. Hold on. A 4.
4. What's that?
Oh, I said Happy New Year in Jewish.
You bash into his leg because he had turned to Nick and used the guy as a shield. So Nick pulls back and then rams the sword forward. He uses the dagger team member as like a shield to catch the blade. And as he's turned facing Nick to, because that's the threat he perceived, you come up and swing this thing down. His entire leg caves in, knocking the bone out of the other side and spraying blood all over the floor. He lets go of the dagger team member and falls onto the floor, kind of like pushing off with his one good foot, trying to slide back into that room that you ruined with the shotgun. I mean, with the frag grenade. J-Mac.
I have a question. So he just busted his leg, right?
He broke his leg like it was a cheap matchstick.
What's the rest of Dawson look like? Like, because you said he was healing during this fight. Is he?
He looks like a giant 8.5 foot tall wolf man thing.
But is he? Is there still evidence of the frag grenade from the start?
It's rapidly healing, but the damage that Booger has done to him so far doesn't seem to be healing.
Okay.
He's taking more damage than he's healing, so that's always a good net positive.
Yeah. I just want to know if shooting at him again is even going to be worth it.
Shoot him in the head. Yeah, be hard to recover from that.
You say breaking his bones works really well. I don't really have anything that can. I'm just going to shoot him again.
Point blank range with a shotgun.
I'm afraid I'll hit you with the shotgun though, because the shotgun.
Well, theoretically, can he get within point blank range?
And just remember too that the round for the 203 or the 320, right? It's messy. It's big.
Yeah. All right. So I'm aiming for the head. I'm gonna try and shoot him.
All right. So you're aiming for the head, right? So that's going to be -4 to your hit, right?
Okay.
That means you're going to need a 17 or higher to hit him in the head.
All right. I can still potentially hit him if I don't hit that, right?
Aim small, miss small.
Okay. I rolled a 9.
Okay. You put rounds on target. They hit the wall right next to him, and kind of, what do you call it? Skip off into what would have been the door, and they make nice pinging sounds against the extended gates that were the trap that you sprung. Jr.
All right. I'm gonna try to reload one-handed.
All right. That brings us back to him.
Do I need to roll to see if I succeed?
No, you can reload. You know how to reload. All right. So J-Mac, he rips off the as he's scooting back, trying to get back in that room, he rips off one of those grated doors. Captain Kogosha wants to know why you're still alive. We're wondering the same thing. He rips off one of those grated doors and throws it at you. Make a saving throw to see if you dive out of the way. So
What a bully.
He what do you call it? He throws it down the hallway, so it bypasses the team that's in the hallway, and kind of careens down the hall at you.
I rolled
So
a 7. I'm guessing I don't dodge that.
you do not dodge that.
I do. I have an athletics bonus though.
Nope.
All right.
4. All right. So you take 6 points of damage as the gate slams into you. A couple of the spikes rip through your uniform, and then it bounces off your armor and kind of lands off to the side of the room. That brings us to Nick.
I get a armor class bonus for being like tough grunt dude?
No, but you had an armor class bonus for being around the crates, and he still caught you.
Okay. All right.
Nick, what are you doing? Anything?
So is he still turned towards me with the dude, or is he turned back?
He is right here.
Okay.
And he's trying to scoot back because Booger just broke his leg.
Okay. And does he still have a hold of the dagger dude?
No, he's down on the ground, so you can step over him easy.
I'm going to step over him and overhand hack right into his head.
Hit me.
Conan hack. 20, natural 20.
Was it?
I kid you not.
Gotcha. Okay, hold on. Got to roll on the magical table. Give me damage.
Is he a large creature or a small creature?
He's man-sized, so just give me
Man-sized.
2d4.
2d4. Oops. Let's see. A 3, and a 4. 4, 7.
All right. So you raise the sword again, and because you guys are in such tight quarters with the magical effects of the blade, as you bring it by your ear, you can almost hear like the whispering chants that you had from when the dwarves were forging it. As it swings, it gets louder and louder as it descends through the air, kind of like trailing the smoking runes. It rips through the wall. The block bashes him in the face, kind of spreading him out, and you almost bisect him in two as this thing goes Excalibur style and buries itself into the other wall.
Nice. That's how you do it. That's how you D&D, everybody.
And he stops moving.
Nice.
Excellent.
What do you guys do?
First off, I want to make sure he doesn't heal anymore, and I want to search his body for anything.
We're going to interrogate him.
You can interrogate the half that's left.
Yeah. Ouija board.
If I can bring him back.
Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to pull him out into the courtyard. Just going
Okay.
to grab his boots and pull him out into the courtyard, leaving a big, messy, bloody trail. Is he healing at all?
He does not appear like he's healing.
Okay, I'm going to search his body.
He is reverting back to his normal like man shape.
Mm-hmm.
Around his waist, he had what looks like a really nicely made dagger.
Okay.
He's got like a belt pouch, but it's not just like one of the it's not just like a little felt bag with like a tie or anything like that. It's an actual pouch with like a clasp and stuff like that, made of really nice leather. You go in there, and it's a segmented case. There's like a wooden rail taking up the center of the what do you call it, of the case, and inside there are 4 vials.
Nice. We will take that. We will take the dagger, and then we'll call Booger in to torch the body.
Hold on. First, I'm going to pull my my knife back out if I can retrieve that.
Yep. Yeah, you can take it.
Okay. I'll wipe the blood off.
Booger, do you go into the courtyard and oil it up?
Yep. Light them up. Barbecue.
Right.
Dinner time.
All right. So as you go into the room that he was, that he was messing with, he's got several crates in the room. But the thing that weirds you out the most is right here.
Computer.
Right. It looks like, a laptop, and there's a wire running into the wall. It looks like somebody has drilled through the wall, and there's a wire running through it.
And as an engineer, I have quite a bit of computer prowess. So I'll see if I can log in and figure out what's going on. Maybe this is how the trap is controlled for the other door.
So there's no password or anything on it.
Yeah.
You probably figure he's probably the only one in here that can read or read what's on the screen.
Yep.
When you bring it up, he had something already running. It's got a map, and on the map there are several locations up and down the coast close by, and there's like X's on some of them.
Not good.
I think if we have anything to scribble on, we make a copy of whatever we're seeing on the screen.
Well, they had, obviously this is a computer. You said it's a laptop. Can we secure the laptop and take it?
Absolutely.
Let's just do that.
Yeah.
What do you say about that? Can we disarm the trap in the other door from here?
I do.
Where does the wire?
Go ahead, Nick.
Where does the wire go?
It goes through the wall. If you trace it to the outside, it's actually comes off the wall, runs down, and then is buried under the ground.
Oh wow!
Hold on. A couple of days, couple of yards away, just over the other side of a hill. There's what looks like something you guys have seen when you were dealing with the Rangers. They have these like base station systems that they can set up to establish mini networks. Okay. And he's got one of those in a cave in like a sealed polycarbonate case to keep all the moisture out and stuff. It seems to have its own solar power supply, and there's an antenna.
We will recover that too.
Can I use my jury rigging skills to make sure we do that and it's still usable?
Yep. So you're going to jerry. What are you going to jerry rig it into like a carry configuration?
Yes.
All right. So you pull you basically pull the stuff out of there. If you keep it in a polycarbonate case and just seal up the holes for like all the different wires and stuff like that, you'll be able to keep it away from the elements. But are you doing anything else with this before you break it down with the computer?
See if we can navigate, and are there any other programs up and running? I mean, is there anything that this thing seems to... are there any other obvious apps that could be run from this thing?
Oh yeah, tons. It's basically a Linux operating system, so it's got a small desktop interface that you can mess with.
All right.
One of them is looks like a camera icon, and it's just got the letter T under it.
Well, let's go ahead and execute that and see what we see.
It brings up almost like a chat window.
Huh.
And as you're doing that, you can see, you got the camera with the T, you got the marking software that is allowing him to just mess with this image, which is the map that he's crossing stuff off. And then what do you call it? There's just basic computer stuff after that, like how to handle a network, how to interface with other systems. Network security, basic stuff. But then the things that really stand out were the map, and then the chat software with the T on it that you just brought up.
Does he have Minesweeper, or is this Linux, so it's not Microsoft?
It's not Microsoft, so no Minesweeper.
I scream at this guy and say, "Damn."
I wonder if NetHack is on here.
But you have what do you call it? As you bring up the chat window, you can see there are previous chats.
Scroll up.
You can scroll up.
What kind of conversation we're having?
He's having a conversation with somebody named T, and T is paying him lots of money to hit all these places. You can get about 3 months worth of correspondence. It starts off with, "Why should I betray my treaty when the Rangers are paying me?" And then he gives he calls it trade slips. So probably like those little slips of gold that you had from Samir. He's like, they're paying me this. Why am I going to betray when I have a pretty good thing going? And there's like a discourse that goes on between this guy T, and he agrees to triple it.
And we recognize T as the name that the guard that Captain Powers iced was thought we operated for.
The guy said his name. Thought you guys worked for somebody named Trago,
which sounds like it starts with a T. So we would make that logical conclusion that that's Trago.
So after some of these, they go back and forth. Like I've been hitting what you've told me. I've been, we've X'd off this many pieces on the map. You can see he uploaded the map and sent it over just like a modern day chat. And then at the end of it, the discourse says, "Your next job is to find this man and kill him." And then it's what do you call it? It's got like a picture file, but it's not open, so you can't see what it is.
Well, let's open it.
It's a picture of you guys on the road, and JR is circled.
There you go.
Little do they know, he has his own death wish.
Dun.
And that's where we'll end our show for today. We'd like to thank you for coming out to check out Sci-Fi Writers playing old school D&D. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining.